Then, in addition to that, as we look through with the local and the seasonality and being able to build those menus around the seasonality, sometimes as we roll in through winter, you have root vegetables that are a lot more popular than, say, with asparagus or broccoli or something like that. So you'll see the fluctuation in the menu from, I guess, a choice selection on your vegetables to be able to try to really pull off that local market as much as possible.
I live in Ave Maria, so I drive through the tomato fields every day. Chances are I'll bring in the bushels of fresh tomatoes.
Be careful what you wish for.
Gluten-free and lactose-free, will there be choice?
Will there be gluten-free, lactose-free options?
So one of the additional reasons for us going to the all menu cooking was being able to provide our residents with the ability to omit things as much as possible. We do not have a quote-unquote gluten-free availability because we don't have gluten-free kitchens. So flour is used inside of our kitchens. We will have options for you to ask for items to be prepared slightly differently. So instead of flouring a chicken breast, something of that nature, we will have those options available. As far as dairy-free, again, we can omit things from our recipes when we're asked to. Not everything. If you ask for, can I have lasagna without cheese? No, we're making a whole pan of that. But if you wanted, if we had a chicken dish that had cheese on it, you could ask for no cheese with it, and we would be able to provide that.
Now, I want to bring something up at that point. At the community I was at last, in Fox Run in Novi, Michigan, one of our very first pioneer residents moving in, Barbara Birmingham, her and her husband Roy. Barbara had over 100 different food allergies. And she was worried about that and coming to a community and ordering off of a menu. And she would stand up at our events and tell you, the food is wonderful here, and it's the staff who you have a relationship with that have helped her over the years that got to know what her allergies were and what she can and cannot eat. And they would approach her often and say, we have a new item on the menu, Ms. Birmingham, that I think you would truly enjoy. And that's the best part of it, with the staff building a relationship with you. We're going to get to know what your eating habits are and your dietary needs also. So that's a great help.
Just to add one final thing to that, we also have a system called My Nutrition. My Nutrition is a system for you to use that you can bring up on your phone, a tablet, a computer. You can look at the entire menu for any of the restaurants, and then what it allows you to do is select the items you might want to eat, so you can see all the nutritional values, so you can determine, is it gluten-free, or can it be prepared gluten-free? You'll be able to start to recognize things. The other great thing is having a chef on campus. If you're kind of like on the fence, I think I might be able to have this, but I'm not sure, you're more than welcome to ask to speak to the chef, and he can come out and give you some guidance as well.
In a restaurant, if you can't finish your meal, they will box it for you. Would you box an unfinished meal here?
Can you take the leftovers home with you if you don't finish it?
So yes, you can. You'll be able to take any unfinished portions with you. We will bring you a box out to the table to help you box it up. Or if you're just full, but you really wanted that pecan pie, we'll box that up as a whole piece for you and let you take it as well.
I had the pleasure of visiting Lantern Hill 3 weeks ago, and I purposely went for lunch so that I could visit with some of the people there. And it was a very nice experience. I believe they told me they pay $4.50 a month, and it was plentiful. The few folks that I did speak said that that was plentiful. The only thing in New Jersey, evidently, they had to pay extra for their wine, which they did not like. But one thing was very obvious is people were boxing up stuff. All that plastic and styrofoam. I would hope that you would try to be a little more creative as you settle in here and be wise to our environment. Like no plastic straws or plastic, that kind of stuff.
So for those of you who did not hear, Ms. Fitzpatrick had an opportunity to visit Lantern Hill for lunch a few weeks ago. You must have friends that live there?
I have a daughter that lives 10 minutes away, so it's perfect.
And she has learned with their food credit, their allowance for $450 a month, nobody has gone hungry. And the food was plentiful and enjoyable. But also people were taking their leftovers home. But her concern also is the containers of which is being used as those carryouts for leftovers as well.
So I'm going to answer part of this and allow Phil to answer part of this as well because we have exciting stuff that we're very excited about. But yes, Lantern Hill is $450. Their residents use anywhere between like 92 and 96% of all of their monies every month. They have a few residents that go over because they enjoy dining with us. One of the things about boxing to keep in mind is if you were to go have beef short ribs at Hobnob tonight, okay, you may have 8 to 10. It was delicious last night because we ate there. That's why I'm saying it.
I'm thinking I want to go there again tonight.
So you may have 8 to 10 ounces of beef. Typically with us, our portions are going to be around 6 to 8 ounces. So it's going to be a little bit smaller, but even 6 to 8 ounces, sometimes when you're eating all the sides and if you get a soup and things like that, it can be a lot of food. So we try to be very cautious, especially with our seniors, to make sure that as our appetites start to go away somewhat as we age, we're not serving 12, 16-ounce steaks any longer. Every once in a while, we will have a nice bone-in ribeye or something that may be slightly higher. But I'll let Phil answer the containers because it's very exciting.
Very excited. So I'm going to say that back in November, October of last year, we began looking at the products that we were using. And organization-wide, we decided that it was important for us to take some initiatives in being a more friendly partner of our earth. So beginning June 1st, we had started a green initiative that all of our containers, and this is our first swipe on this, all of our containers are recyclable or compostable or made in a more environmentally friendly way. Down to and including our straws, which the straws kind of, if everybody remembers the turtle and the straws and the whole band of that. So even our straws are paper.
Are they disposable? Remember you asked me if the portions of the meat they're going to have them on calories.
How will we know the amount of calories on the menu?
So two answers to that. One will be the My Nutrition that I brought up. You'll be able to see all of the calories and the ingredients. And also, these menus don't reflect it yet. Beginning in October across our entire company, we will be advertising the calorie count for every item on the menu, as well as if it is vegetarian or a smarter choice. And smarter choice for us is probably going to be under 350 calories for you to choose. So if you're just kind of watching what you're eating, you'll be able to make some immediate decisions from the menu icons. But then beginning in October, you'll have both of those. So by the time we open here, we'll have that down pat.
The menu is in points denomination. If we exceed the monthly points, then we're going to go to our account, and then it becomes dollar denominated.
The question there,
How do we know what the dollars are?
the question there is, are these, the menus, the dollars, the numbers associated with them, points or dollars? And how will you know what your balance is from day to day?
So they are essentially dollars. This would be $24. But let me take a little deeper dive into that question, is when you're paying for an item with your declining balance, with your choice dollars, what we call them choice dollars, what you see is what you pay. The $24 or the 24 points comes on. There is no tax that hits that. And the reason for that is your $450 that you get every month is part of a service package. It's not actual real dollars. If you exceed and you use either cash, credit card, or resident charge for anything, then you would pay taxes. Then there would be the Florida state tax.
So the bottom line is this is dollars.
These are dollars, yes. So it's easy, the one-to-one ratio. And we did that purposely, honestly. Many senior living companies that are moving to this have changed it so that it's like every 5 points equals $1 or vice versa. The problem you run into is when somebody comes in from the outside, like a a relative of yours to eat, it's very confusing. So we wanted to let's just keep it easy.
And you can also have an app on your phone, on your iPad, or log into your own account through My Erickson once you become a resident to check your balance every day. You can stop at the concierge desk and ask them. You can stop at any host stand at a restaurant and ask them for your balance every day also. Yes. Mr. Osler?
Oh, is that a daily menu or a weekly menu or a monthly menu?
Is that a daily, a weekly, or a monthly menu?
So as I talked about on the slide prior, this big menu will be about 25 items. It'll last for a month. It will last for 1 month. Every one of our restaurants is between 18 and 25 items. In addition, you will have weekly specials that will change every week. And then at the end of the month, when we switch, about 40 to 45% of this menu will change. And so a good example would be salmon. I would shudder to think that we have a restaurant out of our 103 restaurants that salmon is not on. Salmon's just really popular, so we're probably never going to take it off. Now, it may not be here. You guys may not like salmon, and it might not do well. So you have different menus that will last different times.
2 more questions.
Answer to that. Do you have a formalized tipping policy? And secondly, is the food operation a profit center or sale?
The question there is, do you tip in our restaurants? And also, is our dining a profit center for Erickson or Siena Lakes?
Sure. So our tipping policy is we do not allow tipping on a daily basis. We will have one time a year where we will allow the residents to contribute to a fund that will then be used for our hourly staff. Be distributed out evenly across it. But that will happen one time a year, and it's usually right around the holidays where that will happen. But our staff is actually not permitted to take tips, so they're not permitted to. As far as being a revenue center, we are not a revenue center. We don't really make any money in dining. Where we do make a little bit, and it's a very small margin, is with alcohol we make a little bit, and with catering. Our margins are usually around 5-6%, and that's usually to cover just food loss, beverages, and things like that, food loss from cutting and things of that nature. But our margins are very, very low, and that's really just because it's a service. It's not something we're not looking to market to people that are not living with us to come in. And then we're just making sure that we can continue to provide the services in which we do to our residents and continue to upgrade the services as well. So it's a very small margin, but it's not a revenue center.
And to jump back on the no tipping, that is not just in the restaurants. That is for all of our staff. If that's housekeeping, if it's transportation, any of our staff, it is no tipping. Because we recognize that the people that you see daily is who you would want to tip more often. And that's why we do have the rate of fundraising for that once a year before the holidays. So we can distribute that evenly for all the other employees who are behind the scenes that you may not have a strong relationship with. So that way it's distributed to everyone on your behalf. So last question, but we will still be here available afterwards for more.
On the ticket, do you set the number everybody gets charged, or is it all voluntary? At our club here, we belong to Fort. Some people are very generous, and some people don't. Could be anything.
So the question there is, will we set a mandatory or recommended price? We will not do that. That truly is up to you to offer a donation on your behalf. We do not publish what people are donating either. It is very private, so you may not know what your neighbor does. Many times I hear people say that they think they want to donate $1 a day or $2 a day or $1 per person per day. That really is up to you. But we will not give a recommendation at all. And again, we will not publish that, right? I know we have more questions. Phil and Kevin are available, but also if you have any other questions about Siena Lakes, Susie and Christine and Nathan, Kevin and Chris and myself are all available.
What was Bill going to sing?
Oh.